bit. Thanks for everybody for joining. Couple administrative things first and foremost. If you have a question, I'm gonna shut up in just a second. But if you have a question, just put up your hand in the speaking kind of channel, and then I'll or type your notes in chat, and I can facilitate a little bit as Jeff will be doing most of the presentation. But welcome today to our first in a few series of explaining the Dynamics platform in a little more detail beyond just the walls of Business Central, in which you guys have deployed already. Today is going to be me doing kind of mostly the intro, as well as probably some jokes along the way, and then Jeff will be doing a lot of the presentation with regards to what is D365 and giving a little bit of an overview of the app itself and how it all works and contributes to the overall experience on the D365 platform. So what we're going to go through today is fairly simple. It's really, what is D365 sales? How can it actually help sales in your organization? And then in addition to that, how does it actually work with D365 Business Central, which you already have deployed? Know and love. We have a few people in the lobby. Let's just see. Get Irene. Welcome, Irene. You're a couple minutes late, so we've already got on the roll. But I'll repeat the agenda just for your sake. We'll just go through a few things. What is D365 sales? How can it help your business, as well as how is it going? I should have waited, I suppose. And how is it actually going to work with D365 Business Central? So, boy, a lot of everybody's joining at 5 after. Sorry about that. What is D365 sales? So really, it's a sales app on the platform, and effectively, it's a different application from Business Central. In Business Central, you've got a few things that actually look and breathe a lot like sales, but what it doesn't do is provide a rich set of activity management, sales pipeline information, opportunity management. It actually doesn't really help your salespeople with a mobile app a whole lot. So there's a lot of different kind of processes that relate to sales under the D365 hood that are really handled through this application. So some of the things that it will allow us to do is to be more effective at communicating with customers. It'll allow us to be a little bit more kind of streamlined with regarding sales and how do you actually manage sales, how do you actually manage the process, and also how do you measure, how do you forecast, how do you do things that might be in a more of a closing stage or a contracting stage, and have a set of activities that kind of guide that process along the way as well. So it really helps to dive into the overall sales process and manage that very specifically, whereas Business Central doesn't really have that application. It can take an order, it can do a quote, but it doesn't really help customers really engage in that process and understand how to drive that process forward. So it can really help organizations get a handle on the sales process and really help their sales teams engage with customers so that you're actually getting a lot quicker response with closing business, as well as obviously contracting and things that are important. Another thing that's really kind of interesting, and it's something that Jeff will show very shortly here, is most kind of sales applications are really meant to drive information for a management team, right? You put data in, you get reports out. That's obviously part of what is solution. But what's really relevant and what's really kind of important with regards to the D365 sales application is it comes ready baked with a very rich mobile experience that can help salespeople actually just do the things that they want to do and get the information they need to do on a mobile experience. And that's really through a tablet or a phone. In this case, we're going to show you what a phone looks like. And so that they're getting the information out in the field or wherever they may be, without having to be tethered to a desk or things like that. So it's becoming a lot more kind of a rich experience, and you can bring your own device to actually help salespeople do the thing that they really need to do, and that's sell. So it's kind of an interesting take on the world. In the past, we've always struggled with adoption with any kind of sales driven activity for salespeople. but they were really addressing it in this mobile application as well. So, as I said, how can it help your business? We're going to explore a few concepts today: real-time decision making, how that information kind of finds its way into the system, but also how does it surface throughout your platform, being Business Central and D365. There's also an interesting little concept which we'll show you, which is called Power BI, which will find its way into the whole platform. How do we empower sales teams? We'll show you a little bit of the mobile experience as well. And then, of course, what is that integration? As I mentioned, we have Power BI. Information can be surfaced through that, but you can also move information back and forth through the platform itself, through Business Central, as well as D365 Sales. So it really is this kind of seamless type of experience, and focusing specifically on sales activities that your organization may want to engage in or have better control over. So if there's any questions at this point in time, happy to take a super quick round, like 3 or 4 super quick questions. If not, what I'll do is turn it over to Jeff, and he'll start to show what this application really looks like, and also how does it work with Business Central, and how does it actually really kind of serve the audience that this application is meant for, and that's sales teams and salespeople. So with that, maybe what I'll do, I don't see any questions coming in, so maybe what I'll do is just turn it over to Jeff, and I'll fade into the background and let you take over.
Hey folks, bear with me a second. I am going to be taking control and sharing my screen. Yeah, so just going on from what Jeff said, what we really wanted to relay is a few different experiences. The first experience being the mobile experience by the point of view from a salesperson out on the road, where they require access to their upcoming activities for the day. They want to be able to view and update their key accounts and leads and opportunities, as well as what we're going to do is process a quote directly from my phone and send that over into Business Central. So if you bear with me a second, you'll probably just see a black thing that says Jeff there. I'm just going to mirror my iPhone onto my desktop there so everybody can see. And apologies for the crazy amount of apps that I have installed on my phone. Please do not judge. But I'm gonna come up to here, and what I'm gonna do is just find the sales app, which is in the top corner, and right away, what we're seeing, what we're presented with, is a list of our activities that are upcoming. So you can see in my calendar, I've got this appointment that I have, and later on today, I have another appointment there. When we're clicking through the application, we actually can, it'll actually tag any recent records that we've been working with. So you can see right here, I have a list of recent contacts. I have a list of recent records I've been working with within the application, as well as any recent notes and reminders. I can actually go into the reminder by clicking open opportunity, but at the very, very top, I'm just going to click in and open up this meeting. And there's a couple of key notes here. So you can see that there's the meeting details associated at the top, but at the very bottom, we can see what this meeting is regarding. And I've actually linked it to a particular opportunity. I can click on that, and it actually provides a quick view, a quick hit of what that opportunity is. So we've got a couple key metrics here: the estimated revenue, estimated close date, and the pipeline phase, as well as some notes that I've added. So I can go in and, of course, I can add a new note, or I can view the existing notes. So you've got the laziest employee award goes to my dog. I can actually click on that attachment, and then there's my dog sleeping underneath my desk. If I scroll back down to here, I can actually open it up in a little bit of a bigger view, but at the very, very top, what you'll notice is there's an option to actually take me into the detailed view of that opportunity. So I can click into that, and that will open up the detailed opportunity view or record, sorry, that I can work with. And moving down along the pipe, you can see I've got a whole host of information that I've filled in, including a timeline. So within the timeline, what you'll notice are a few things, things like appointments, things like emails, and notes, all are aggravated into a single view against the opportunity. You'll also notice a few other different icons that are listed there. I can actually take screenshots or take photos. I can take videos, and I can even record audio notes or even append attachments as notes as well, and activities. So,
So
as an
you'll
example, yeah.
I was going to say, so you'll note that a lot of the tools, rather than typing, are now going to be they're more related to, kind of real life salespeople activities where they want to talk into the application, take a quick photo, have quick references, all about these particular sales opportunities, so you can actually get the information into the system faster, use as reference points and reminders for themselves, so that they can move the process forward.
Absolutely. Moving along, so that's on the opportunity record, but not only for the opportunities, what we can also do is manage our leads from within the app as well. And how we would do that is by clicking into the more area, and then you can see I've got a whole host of entities I can click into. I'm going to focus on leads because I have a site visit. I need to get to a specific place, and I want to view that information before I head into their office. So at the very top, I've got Gerald Stevens. I'm going to click into here. Um, and we can see a couple bits of critical information. At the very, very top, we can see at what stage in our sales process Gerald Steven is at. Right now, he's currently at a qualified stage. I can actually view the stage gates that are associated with that stage here, and I can go in and update the purchase process as an example. And I'm going to hit save. If we want to preview the other stages, we can do so by clicking on the right arrow. Sorry, scrolling down, uh, we have a bit of information here. Again, similar thing to the opportunity record. We have our timeline, but if I click on get directions, what you'll be able to do is the CRM system has plotted the directions to his office. I can just, click on here and away we go. So moving down, we actually have a widget called Who Knows Whom. So this is actually showing us who within our organization has had contact with Gerald and what the strength of that relationship is. And then we can quite easily get introduced. So I can say to Alan, hey, can you introduce me to Gerald if we wanted to, and hit send. And then you can see that that email has been sent. Moving down the pipe, we have a lead score. So you can see that there is a lead scoring model that sits in the background that we have been feeding it parameters to, and it will score the lead based on those parameters that we have set. And then we can append stakeholders and competitors as well to that lead. Excuse me. If I go back, I can really quickly go back to the main page. We can quickly search for accounts. So if I wanted to search for a particular account like Alpine Ski House, I can hit search, and there's Alpine Ski House right there. We can click on it, and that will open up that detailed account record. And again, we have a whole host of appointments, emails, and notes within the timeline. We have an AI notification assistant. It's actually telling me that this opportunity is closing soon. I can actually open up that opportunity and view that information. So from here, guys, what we want to do is actually generate a quote and send that quote to the customer, and then we will activate that quote and create an order and send that order into Business Central. So from within the opportunity, I can click on quotes. I've already spun a quote up, but what I can do is actually click into that quote and view that information. So we have things like the quote ID, the revision ID, the date received, some important dates, the submission date, effective to date, a couple of related entities. And then if we scroll down, some ship to address, we can see that there's some products here and what the associated quote value is. Now, what I'm going to do now is click on more and actually create an email. And I'm going to select my PDF to send to the customer. I'm going to choose the catapult quote. What that will do is generate an email record, and attached to that email record, if I scroll down, we have our PDF. If I click on that, that will allow me to preview that attachment directly from my phone, hit close. All I need to do now, I'm just going to save it. All I'm going to need to do now is hit send after I put in my details. Here is, I cannot spell, is your quote. And then I can hit send. I'm not going to hit send because this is a dummy account, but I'm just going to hit save and close and get out of here. And it'll take me back to my quote. So from here, what we're going to do is actually activate our quote and create an order from it. So I'm going to go and hit activate, which will now says at the very top, our quote is now activated and is not editable. I'm going to go in and then I'm going to generate an order. And what this will do is it will close off the quote as one, and it's going to close the opportunity, and it's going to generate an order. And from here, at this trigger point, this quote will now have generated an order within the system, and we will have sent that over into Business Central by way of our sales orders. So if I hit refresh, so you can see that we have Alpine Ski House there. Oops, it's already refreshed. And we have Alpine Ski House. That order has now gone into Business Central for order processing. Okay, so the next experience that we're going to talk about is the sales director experience and what that could potentially look like. So if I click into the application on a desktop, and log into the app, to the sales app, we have a few more different options than what we had on the mobile experience. The first option that we have is the deal manager, and this deal manager allows us to view opportunities within the deal tracker at the very top, and it will allow us to actually sort opportunities by estimated close date, by their grade, and by their deal size. So you can see we've got a lot of opportunities that are coming down the pipeline. And what this allows us to do is a couple of things. It allows us to effectively start to resource things a little bit more into the future, based on when deals are going to be closed. At the very top, we also have pipeline value. We have a number of deals in the pipeline, and a couple of key metrics that are listed here, and they're also being graded. And here are the details of the opportunities that are being represented in this visualization. So you can see at the very top, we've got a few different options. I can actually click into this one, and I can start to edit things in line on the form. So if I wanted to edit the estimated close date, I can do, and the estimated revenue directly from this form. If I wanted to as well, I can click on this option to open up that detailed opportunity record. And what you'll notice is a couple of things when it decides to pop up. We are again, similar concept as on the mobile device. We have the concept of summary information. And we have our timeline in the middle. We have our opportunity scoring on the far right, but we have access to a couple of more bits of information. We have relationship analytics. So this is taking a look at some of our activity interactions with the customer and reporting on them. So you can see over here we have a relationship health. We have our hourly investment versus the customer's hourly investment with time, and we have some KPIs that listed over here on the top. We have the list of products that are giving value to the opportunity. We also have a list of quotes as well that are associated to the opportunity and to the customer. Uh, we have a LinkedIn Sales Navigator integration set up as well, where we can start to view some of that LinkedIn information associated with the account. When it pops up, what you'll notice is a few things. We've got the person, the company, and we can also send an email directly from the form as well. If I hit save and close, back to my deal manager, I can also group my records based on some key information. So if I wanted to say group my opportunities by rating and view them grouped in that way, it will group them. And you can see I can now focus on my hot versus my cold versus my warm opportunities grouped in that manner. Okay. So from a reporting perspective, the deal manager allows us to track that opportunity information and to be able to update it and dig into it really, really easily. Now, there's a whole host of other sort of sales reports that we can that come shipped out of the box as well with the platform. One thing that Jeff Bacon had alluded to was the concept of surfacing data within the Power BI experience. So if we have a look here, this is a Power BI or a series of Power BI dashboards that are surfaced within the Dynamics application. You can see and a couple of things here. If I click into it, this actually will open up um, the underlying Power BI dashboard report that sits on top of that one chart. So you can see that I've just appended the one chart, but if I wanted to drill into it and take a look at some of the reporting that comprises that particular chart, it's one click away. So this is actually looking at Business Central information, and it's completely interactive. So if I wanted to focus on a few different departments or maybe a few different regions, it will allow me to drill in and view that data. And finally, we do have a whole host of out-of-the-box dashboards that come shipped with the application that focus on sales. We've got a sales pipeline that we can drill into, leads by source. We've got goals and on top open opportunities. If I scroll down to our sales performance dashboard, again, we have more out-of-the-box charts that render when there's more data in there. And finally, guys, uh, we do have a way for us to be able to track goals. So we've set up a very simple opportunity sales target for a few of our sales reps. If I just quickly hit refresh, what I'm going to do is just take a quick look at what's going on with some of my team. And I'm going to take a look at the goal progress. So you can see very, very quickly, I've got some opportunity goals for Donovan and for myself that we're tracking to. And that's it. That's it for the sales director experience. So I'll stop sharing my screen and I'll turn it over to the audience to see if anybody else has any questions.
Any questions from anyone? Anybody
Please,
have any insight or comments and or questions? I don't see any hands. I don't see any questions. Okay, well, with that, thanks for joining, everybody. I really appreciate you taking a spin through the D365 sales application. We'll be doing a few of these webinars in the future. The next one, I believe, is on Power Apps and what that is and how that might work in an organization, or even just getting a little bit of education, everybody, around what the Power Platform is. So stay tuned for invites. Thanks again for joining on a Tuesday morning. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and long weekend, and hope you have a great week of work. Thanks very much.
Thank you, everybody.